thank you for following this series. If you've made it this far to the video, I'm going to be starting with Aries today. And if you are an Aries, you be born about March 21st to April 21st. It can change a little bit each year. If you've never had your birth chart done or you don't know anything about a birth chart, I'm going to be putting a link below. I like Cafe Astrology. I think they're a great place to start. And you put your time, your birth, your city and state, and it will show you what was happening. So if you're an Aries, you will possibly identify with what I'm going to talk about today. But if you have a moon in Aries, rising in Aries, Mercury, Venus, Mars, any of those major planets, an ascendant, then those of you who are, a little more advanced in astrology will know that you may also have these tendencies and probabilities, and you have to work with this energy. Aries is ruled by Mars. That's the fiery, hot planet. And Mars is like the no bullshit planet, okay? And Aries is somebody that you want on your side. They're the knight in shining armor. They love to take on that role of the savior. They're here to protect you. It's like if you get an Aries in your life, it's like, how did you just come take over my life? Because an Aries has a way of just being there. And the shadow side of the Aries, dealing with this Mars energy, is dealing with this hot fire energy running through your veins. You're very impulsive, and that can land you into a lot of trouble. A lot of times in the themes of the Aries, you'll see a lot of injuries to the head because of the fact that they are so impulsive. They don't think first. It's do now. It's the action. And then, oh my gosh, what did I do? So think about that in your life. Is that out of control? You can see a lot of times because the Aries can become addicted to adrenaline, that you can see all kinds of dysfunctions and disorders developing. Gambling to the extreme, extreme sports to the point of risking your life, that going on the edge. They also really like the chase, and a lot of times your relationships will play out in a lot of cycles of you, just focused in like a hunter on someone, and you just won't stop until you capture that person. And then a lot of times once the chase and the adrenaline and all that's over and you get into the everyday life, it's boring, and that need for a chase can happen again. So the thing about it is, on the positive side, on the good side of this energy, we see the warriors. We see people that are on the front lines. We see people that can make quick decisions, instinctual decisions. It's a very instinctual kind of raw energy. So you go a lot of times off of your carnal instincts. It's also a very youthful, because it's the first sign of the zodiac. It represents the person from the age from 0 to 7. So there's a very childlike energy around you. Always, usually even you'll see Aries that are older, 60s and 70s, and they look fantastic because you've got that youthful energy around you. But again, the shadow side is not growing up, is not wanting to take responsibility, not wanting to be in the game of life. So you're asking yourself, how am I using this energy in my life? Sometimes, with the Aries, you can get in also a lot of trouble for speaking right out of your mouth without a filter. So, you get yourself in a situation where you feel trapped or you feel caged in, you're going to have a quick tongue. And in your relationships, that can be hard on people because there is a certain amount of communication skills that we all have to have. So if you're struggling in your relationships right now, you want to ask yourself, is that Mars energy just overwhelming people? I have a lot of Aries children. All of my children have a lot of Aries. And I don't. I have a few things in that direction which are really good, and I'm very grateful for. But when I put them all three together in one room, they're all different ages, 25, 17, and 3. It is like an explosion. I have to leave the house. I have to walk outside because that Aries energy is just so explosive. So you can also deal with very explosive temper. It ignites like fire. So, you know, if you've said to yourself, or people have said to you, just have a trigger hair temper, and Aries can. They can have a trigger hair fun-filled moment too. They can be, I mean, everybody loves the adventurous side of that fiery Aries in you. But these are the balances that you're working on. So, you know, how do you fix these? How do you look at these? Well, first thing is to embrace who you are. And that is where understanding your natal chart and going through that process of identifying these energies that you're born with, that you're born with them for a reason. We need warriors. We need warriors. But we need you to know how to use this energy. I've seen Aries go through, you know, very difficult relationships because of the fact they go in and they want to save people. It's kind of you know, it's again that knight in shining armor complex. So sometimes in saving people, you can get yourself into very dysfunctional relationships with people that aren't taking responsibility. And you know, it's you're like a knight in shining armor, and when you get hurt, it's very painful. And again, that's what a lot of times has us go in and start to kind of allow this negative energy to develop because of being hurt. And so it can turn into a very authoritarian type of energy, or very bossy, or very overpowering, or very controlling because you don't want to be hurt. So it's learning how to make better choices. You're going to be the knight in shining armor. And trust me, everybody needs a knight in shining armor. But it's learning how to pick somebody that's going to balance with you, somebody that's going to take advantage of being rescued and saved and then go on with their life. You love independent people. You love to see people want to be all that they can be. You don't have that threat. But again, you can get yourselves into cycles that really take you down very dark paths of, you know, kind of that victim savior role. And again, you can play that. So these are things to be careful of. These are things to think about. If you find that you're in one of these tornadoes and you want some help, I'm here. Just see, a couple more quick things I wanted to share for you guys that were on my mind. I was almost going to end that, but I just got to think. A couple of famous Aries that I think we all know. Colin Powell. He's an Aries. And it's that strong energy that we can trust. And boy, didn't he portray that. Maya Angelou. Yes. Now, she has a lot of Pisces in her chart. Again, for those of you who have had their chart done, you know that we're not just one planet. We're not just one energy. We have many things going on. But Maya Angelou was a warrior. She's been a warrior her whole life. And she's a beautiful example of that. Some of our good-looking Aries men is Russell Crowe. Celine Dion. Okay, Celine Dion. Oh my gosh, I was just watching an interview of her, and what a warrior. You want an Aries on your side. But again, if you've allowed these energies, you know, to really take you down, get some help. There's so much help available right now. This is a journey, and the first step is awareness and embracing it. And then let's find a way to help you use it the best. Okay, so one of the last things that I wanted to mention about Aries children, again, they can get themselves in a lot of physical trouble, but get them in sports. They are the #1 athletes, and they need to be using that energy productive, or they will become destructive. A lot of times Aries children will be labeled as ADD, dyslexic, all of those things. And you'll see it over and over again, the Aries child being made to feel like they're not smart in school, feeling like they can't keep up with this system. Well, you're not going to. There's reason why. Because of your impulsive ability, your impulsive energy that runs through you. Sitting in a chair all day is like torture for the Aries child. And your mind is so quick to find the solutions, find the problems, and onto something else. It's very hard for you. So unfortunately, in society, that gets labeled as ADD. All of my children were tried to be labeled those things. And it's taken me a lot of years to figure out how to, provide a great environment for my Aries children, because they need lots of space, they need lots of self-expression, and they need to be able to explore. And when you take that away from them, you're going to have a really sad Aries child. So I hope these thoughts were helpful. There's many, many more examples of this, but I just wanted to give you guys a taste. If you can identify with what I'm talking about, I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Or you can email me and find out more about how we can work together. Okay? So, have a great day, guys.